just about to get started here, fam bam. And I don't know how you're feeling about this whole situation with Microsoft Xbox, and if you haven't, we will talk about it soon. There's a lot of new breaking news, I gotta say, when it comes to PC hardware. We're just about to start momentarily. I hope everyone's had a great day or evening. I know this is a bit later than my usual time when I go live. But let's go ahead and right now, we're just about to get started here. Whew. Man, I just came back from the gym, just did a heavy workout. I'm feeling great. Hopefully everybody has had a great start to their day and hopefully a great evening depending where you are in the world. I do apologize for starting a little bit later than I usually do. Hopefully the volume's nice and set. Let me double check. Perfect. It seems beautiful. Well, hopefully I'm not as beautiful as you guys out there. Well, anyway, we do have some interesting news about Microsoft, and we have interesting news when it comes to PC hardware, especially for those who are interested in doing some sort of PC build. Maybe you're thinking of doing one at the end of this year, especially because pretty soon we're in October, right? Well, we are in October actually. And there's going to be some great sales actually by Amazon and Newegg, which we will be excited to announce. Maybe I'll do a bonus stream about it when it comes to their hardware. Also, if you're not familiar with who I am, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. This is an open forum, so you can feel free to ask any questions that you would like, especially if you are just doing a PC build and maybe you're looking to get started on how to do so. I know it can be quite confusing. I know there's a lot of terminology, but I promise you it won't be as bad as soon as you get all the parts together. You'll have a lot of fun. You might spend a day or two doing it, but you'll certainly love it. What's up, Vero? Good to see you. I'm glad to see you in. And I actually just had to reset my PC. It's funny because I was trying to find this wire. There's also for anybody out there who does have an NVIDIA GPU, just to let you guys know, there is an update available for you guys. So if you're wondering why your game's kind of laggy, which is going to be important, it's very important to update your drivers because you might notice some loss of performance, and usually NVIDIA can get pretty buggy if you don't update their drivers. But anyway, the new update is supposed to help Battlefield 6 become more optimized, and it's going to be useful for a few bug fixes that there are out there in games. I believe Silent Hill is also on the list for the bug fixes on this new NVIDIA driver. So hopefully you guys already downloaded it, and this will especially affect everybody out there who does want to play Battlefield 6. So, is the Ryzen 5 7600X good with the 7800 XT? Now, that's a great question. I'm glad you actually asked that. Now, if you were to compare, if you want those two items put together, that's actually a great pair. A 7800 XT can actually work well with a 7600X. So if you want to pair those two items, you certainly can. Personally, if you are going to a AM5 board, I would highly suggest to even look at the 9060 XT, that's 16 gigabytes. Even the 9070 XT, because if anybody out there, or does everybody know that these GPU prices are certainly dropping, and more than likely you could probably find it just at MSRP or even below. If you can certainly find a GPU for that price, that would be great. But if the 7800 XT is the best you can certainly get, depending on the country you are, completely understandable, but they certainly will work together well. So you don't have to worry about, obviously, compatibility issues, and the best part is that they will work on AMD's Adrenalin software together. So Spartacus says, how good is the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D? I'm looking to upgrade from the Ryzen 9 5900X. Now, I had MSI's B550 Tomahawk, looking to upgrade the X870E Wi-Fi, and if I have a Radeon 6900 XT, just wondering if it'd be worth it. I'll tell you right now, if you're coming from 5900X to 9800X 3D, that is going to be a big difference. I'll tell you that right now, especially on the type of games. Let me know what kind of games you like to play, but you will certainly see an improvement. You will no longer go through any type of bottlenecking. I'm assuming and you have a Radeon 6900 XT. So you're probably going to end up holding that for just a little while. More than likely, because you're upgrading your system, it's practically like rebuilding a PC. So I can completely understand why you're going to hold on to something like the Radeon 6900 XT, and it's still a phenomenal GPU to this day. Now, if you do upgrade to the new CPU, the good thing is that you won't really have any type of bottlenecking. In fact, you'll be able to take the full potential of your GPU, which is going to be an advantage. Also, on top of it, you have the extra CCD core that will also help you in the gaming aspect. You will improve up to DDR5. You will have other items that you can take advantage of as AMD Expo, and you do also have PBO and Curve Optimizer, which you can certainly take advantage of. So it's 100% worth the upgrade, plus you'll be on PCI Express 5, so it's a really hard deal to beat. And then eventually when you do choose to upgrade your GPU, you'll be glad you went to the 9800X3D. Now, I'm upgrading from the ROG 580. Paid $350 for my friend's 7800 XT. Oh, certainly. You guys can post links. If you guys do have any issues where you can't post a link, feel free to join Discord. Everybody out there, just to let you know, the Discord is down in the description box down below. You can feel free to post links on the Discord as if you want to share any type of content. If you have any type of videos or photos of your PC builds, you can feel free to post it on there as well. And once again, the Discord channel will be down in the description down below for guys on YouTube. Now, for Twitch and everybody else, if you are looking to be able to get onto the Discord channel, it's really easy. You just go to www.chrismizo.com. I'm not kidding. It's really just chrismizo.com. Once you go onto that website, you're going to see a Discord icon. When you click that Discord icon, that will actually take you straight into the FanBam server. Once you join the FanBam server, then you can feel free to post links, share videos, or share content, and even do live interviews if that's what you would like to do. So, paid $350 for my friend's 7800 XTD. That's, again, a great deal. I like to play open world games such as Star Citizen, Arma 3, Battlefield, etc. Great games to play, by the way. I hope that they bring back a lot more. So, GTK, thanks for the info. MA, appreciate it. So, that's no problem there. Let me make sure I got everybody here into the chat. I'm just going to double check the servers here because sometimes I know they can get a bit finicky when it comes to the whole chat side, because I have connected both the horizontal and the vertical chats. So let me double check everything to make sure that they are working properly. And of course, I figured one of them would be a little bit off, but that's okay, as long as if you guys are connected. Let me just go ahead and... All right, perfect. All right, beautiful. Okay, so once again, feel free to join the Discord channel, and you can feel free to post the links. But I do have to ask everybody out there, especially if you have an Xbox, or in fact, maybe you do have Game Pass, the Ultimate Game Pass specifically, because I'm going to ask everybody this. Now, if you haven't heard Microsoft's newest announcement, just today of October 1st, 2025. Honestly, I don't know why they did this, because I really think it's a bad idea for them to just drop a bomb like this, because now it's going to make people feel like I maybe not want to buy an Xbox, or maybe not want to get the Xbox Ally when it releases, because this is what is going to happen. They announced a new price increase. Now there's 3 tiers, okay? There's 3 tiers that are going to be available. Now, the cheapest tier you can get is $14.99, and you can get up to something like 200 games. There's some more details in it, but you can't get really the first day type of releases. You pay $15 a month. You obviously can't go on PC as well, because some people who have Xbox like to have the PC pass as well, and you need the Xbox Live Ultimate. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on the subject when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. But anyway, they do have a second tier that is available to where it's about $21.99. And for the $21.99 offer, you can certainly get all the different games that you would like. I still don't think I think you can go onto Game Pass on PC, but the only other issue is that if you do choose to go on PC, that you can actually run into different ads. So they're introducing that into that middle package, which is kind of weird. And then finally, the Ultimate package, $29.99. That is really expensive. I think that's quite ridiculous. Honestly, I know this is going to sound old, and I know that everybody out there who's originally had an Xbox or has PlayStation knows that it used to be free to game online. In fact, even when Xbox did start charging for their online services, you would pay at the most maybe $40 or $50 a year. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm just curious to hear from what you guys are thinking. So if I'm on a Ryzen 5 7600X, how long should I wait to upgrade the CPU? So if you're on a 7600X, there's honestly no real rush to upgrade your CPU. Now, I do have to ask you this. It depends on the type of usage you use with your CPU as well. Now, are you going to be using it in other areas besides gaming? Will you also be using it for something like video editing, graphical editing, or maybe you're thinking of getting into programming or things like that? If you have other ideas on mind besides gaming, maybe you want to start streaming just like this or something, feel free to let me know. Then I can throw in my suggestion. But I can tell you this, if you're planning just to strictly game, you don't really care as much when it comes to the frames as much, you could get away with a lot with the 7600X. Now, I'm going to go on top of it a little bit, on the subject a little bit more, but I'll double check the chat and see what you have to say about that. Now, so I find it wild that they're increasing prices. It's one of the main reasons why I built my PC back in 2022. I was an Xbox player prior. It's a shame how far they've fallen, in my opinion. I agree. I'll be canceling my sub today. Okay. Oh, really, Vero? Well, sorry to hear that. But anyway, so I gotta say, when it comes to Xbox, I think a lot of people feel like that. They kind of want to cancel out their whole Xbox Game Pass, which is kind of ridiculous. In fact, I got to share this with you guys too, which is pretty funny, is that everybody that was going online to cancel their subscription to get their Xbox Game Pass, it actually locked up the server. I don't know if the server is currently still locked up, but everybody was going on there to practically cancel their services. Now, one interesting aspect, which is kind of funny, I do just have to bring it out there. I don't mean to bring him out in the limelight, so if you're watching this, I apologize for bringing you out, but one of my good friends, I was talking to him, and I told him about this price increase. Now, he's not a PC gamer. He obviously games on Xbox, so I wanted to get his opinion on it. So I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think of this? I think it's really crazy that Xbox Game Pass is charging this much. I mean, $15 is the minimum now, and now they want to throw in ads on top of it. Yeah, sure, they throw in like some Ubisoft games, but now $30 is like your ultimate package, and they want you to pay this every single month, and that's like $240 a year. Really, it's quite ridiculous. You could get 5-6 games in a year, like, I mean, AAA games. So I asked him this, and his response was, well, it's honestly not that bad. Not that bad. What constitutes bad to somebody who's on Xbox and has to pay $30 a month? That's not bad for you? That's not terrible? Doesn't it make you want to switch over to something like PC? But it is quite insane that Microsoft is pulling this. Now, for everybody out there who is waiting for a GPU, I do have some news for those who are especially waiting for NVIDIA's GPU, or because I do have to say there has been quite a rumor that's been going around, and no, unfortunately, NVIDIA is not going to unveil their NVIDIA RTX 5080 Super at CES 2026. So I do apologize to everybody out there who is waiting for that. If they do, I would be so surprised about it. I think many people would be surprised about it. And I will take you guys there. We will go there in person at CES. So make sure you stay tuned. I will be streaming quite a bit. Once we head over there, I'm going to be going between January 5th to the 9th. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you stay tuned for the whole CES coverage. And you can feel free to ask questions if you have any specific questions about anything. But anyway, going back to the subject of NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA does want to announce their RTX 5070, 5070 Ti, and their 5080 Super. We all know they're not going to come out with a 5090 Super. It would just be ridiculous. It doesn't make sense to come out with something that's 48 gigabytes of VRAM. That's G7, and it's going to be wasted, and nobody's going to utilize it, and I don't see NVIDIA wanting to do that anyway. They're too focused on AI. But anyway, let me get to the point about these super GPUs that are supposed to release. Now, I do think that they're going to announce it in GTC Summit during NVIDIA's announcements. It still seems that the rumor is holding true to where the minimum VRAM space when it comes to the 5070 is still going to be 18 gigabytes. So that's the good news I can say from what I'm hearing. 24 gigabytes is also going to be the minimum especially when it comes to the RTX 5080 Super. And on top of it, I think if they don't announce it in the GTC Summit, which again I would be surprised, they could be very AI focused when it comes to it. More than likely, they would announce it during Computex of 2026, which comes around in May. So when that does happen, maybe they would announce it then. So, how do you feel about EA being bought out by the Saudis? I am surprised they got bought. Maybe not disrespecting the trans folks or anything, but maybe the game might be returning to normalcy. Now, my honest opinion, I feel like EA had it coming to them, to be honest, because EA just has been off the ball. And right when they seem like they're starting to get better and starting to improve their aspects, such as Battlefield 6 looks like a very decent game. But other than that, what did you really hear from EA that really succeeded besides the Battlefield 6? They kind of really did it again. They like to do things like this to themselves. Same thing with Ubisoft, so in a way they kind of deserve it. They obviously have an audience out there that speaks their opinions, and everybody has a right to speak their opinions, especially when it comes to a game, because this is what we personally like. This is what we are. We are gamers. We want to say how we feel and what we think of the game. So I think our opinion's pretty important, especially when it comes to the gaming world. So when we want to see certain games and they don't do it, and instead they force games that are released to where we're not really interested in, you can't really blame the gamers for that. It's their own fault for not listening to the customers. And same thing with Ubisoft, the same fault that's very well happening to them. It seems actually Tencent, I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but with Ubisoft, Tencent is also taken over their whole Assassin's Creed franchise and a couple other areas of their franchise as well. More than likely, it's going to be areas such as like Rainbow Six. They're big money makers. So for EA, I honestly feel like it's well deserved. Hopefully this kind of gives a warning to other companies to just please listen to the gamers. We don't really ask for much. We just ask for actually great titles. And on top of it, you can't just like put out slop like that. It's just terrible. So I had a 5600X on a B550 Tomahawk. Want to go to a 7800X 3D, an X670E Tomahawk, and found it worth it. Kind of similar to the 5600X, just one CCD. This is all from Nicholas. I'd say across the board, found it worth it. I agree. If you can certainly find a great deal on it, if you went to the 7800X3D, that's quite a significant difference. Because again, that extra CCD certainly does help. You get more cache, especially when it comes to your L2 and your L3 cache, which will give you a lot more, it will give you better frames because of it. It doesn't have, you don't have to wait for everything to cycle through the RAM, and you get better thermals because of it as well. So it's 100% worth it. I'm sure you've seen quite the difference. I have the 9800X3D now and the X670E Tomahawk still. Again, it's that MSI board's excellent. Originally, the MSI board, if anyone's wondering what the Tomahawk is, it's their B650. They also had the B850 version. It's actually a very affordable board. For anybody out there who is building a PC and has like a bit of a tighter budget, that motherboard is one of the best ones you can get. And you can actually buy it for under $300, especially for a B650. I guarantee you this Black Friday, or if you look actually this upcoming weekend between October 7th and October 8th, I might be either doing a video or might be going live on it. Depends. And we could definitely take a look at some great deals because Amazon's going to do their Prime deals again for this upcoming weekend, the 7th and the 8th, I believe. And so is Newegg. They're also going to do Fantastic Tech, which is another great area to take advantage of. You could practically build a PC for a really low price, especially that they bundle so many items that you can really use, especially if you got a brand new build. You'll save a ton of money because of that. Plus, you do have the bonus of getting extra games. I bet also for anybody out there who does have a Micro Center near them, you can certainly take advantage of Micro Center's deals because they will certainly compete. And for anyone who is curious, and I gotta let you guys know this, and say you see a better deal on Newegg, but you live close to a Micro Center, you can actually price match with them, and they will actually work with you, which is very awesome of Micro Center to do that. And honestly, they're one of the best PC tech stores in the industry. So I don't know what you're doing to your streams with linking chat, but it's broken. Oh, really? Oh, is it? Is it not working correctly? It's it. Okay, I apologize for that. So what do you see that's not working? Is it just not? Oh, wait a minute. I apologize for that. I see that the Jonah cam is on, and the Jonah cam is actually, there you go. That is on, and hopefully you guys are seeing it. There you go. Hopefully that fixed it. I apologize for that. So that the Jonah cam's on. Usually that camera goes on to Jonah. He's actually in his bed now. I would have to kind of reset the camera on that area, so I apologize for that. So if you're wondering what that blank space was, it was kind of like facing the floor to the other camera. Let me get back onto topic here. Let me see. We'll go back. The last few streams chat is broken for sure. I only see myself. Oh, really? Oh, you know what that is? Sometimes you might see yourself typing because it's actually a combination. This is something I know YouTube is announced, and once they actually do it, it'll be nice. They'll integrate all the chats together. But the good thing is that that's why I kind of put the chat into the videos now, into the live stream, so that way you guys can actually see each other through there. Even though it seems like you're talking to yourself, it's actually other people in the shorts area that's also talking as well. So you might be in the horizontal format versus the short format, for example. So you might, if you're on YouTube watching it and looking on the chat itself, it's gonna look like you're just talking to yourself. So that's why I have other chats connected, such as Twitch, and also X is connected as well. So you can check out those areas too, if you'd like. But let me see. The 5600, 7800 X3D was obviously a large jump. I'm sure you find it worth it going to, yes, you would certainly find it worth it over a 9800 X3D. I'm going with the Gigabyte motherboard, so it's the same brand as my GPU. I don't want to go RGB, so yeah, I get it. Now that's a big issue with some people out there who aren't into the whole RGB phase. Also, if you're just building a brand new PC and you're wondering what Vero is talking about, this is a very common issue to when you build a PC. You might end up mix matching brands, it happens. This is normal. Say you get a motherboard from ASUS, but then you have a GPU from Gigabytes, and then you have your cooler from MSI, your CPU cooler, and you got 3 different brands right there, right off the bat. Now, what he's talking about is when you put different brands together, again, the PC will work phenomenal. Doesn't matter if you mix brands, that's not really the issue. But where the issue lies is more of where the RGBs work together. Otherwise, you're going to have a few options to do, which is you could either install 3 different softwares. You could install ASUS Armory Crate, MSI Mystic Light, then Gigabyte's control software. And if you have the Aura software you would have. So you would connect all 3 of those softwares to control each and every aspect of your other branded parts. Or you can just build one singular build. Say you build all Gigabyte or ASUS or MSI parts, and then you can just use one piece of software to control everything. Now, you do have another option, which can happen, which for everybody out there who doesn't like to use multiple softwares, you do have other ones, such as OpenRGB. You have Signal RGB, then they all work great, but some people might not like it because it feels a bit more like bloatware, because it does take a little bit more of power consumption when you do end up using it. It might take up a little bit more CPU usage, but slightly, not large enough to where it would affect gaming or affect other aspects. But it could feel a bit uncomfortable, especially if you prefer to have a system that is much more light and you don't need the extra software. But this is one of the things I do hope that Microsoft does improve, because Microsoft does have integrated in Windows 11, they have their own RGB software. I know nobody probably uses it or doesn't even know it existed, but it is in there. And it doesn't work that great. It's not really the best. And hopefully when Windows does come out with Windows 12, that they really truly integrate it well. And if they integrate it well enough, then there will be no need for RGB software. Or you can also have the option of doing just a blackout build, which is something that we want to do on this upcoming channel, which is going to be Project Ninja. We're still working on getting all the peripherals in. And once we do get them in, I will start showcasing them to show you what we have so far for that build. So, I have 0 complaints about either the B550 or the X670E Tomahawk boards. I'd highly recommend either of them. I'm sure the X870E is along the same lines. Now, the B850 AI top has the solid feature if you want to go Gigabyte. That's very true, Nicholas. I do have to mention, I don't know if anybody has seen it or if anybody has thought about it. If you saw the new Gigabyte X3D boards, they're actually already out. They just launched about a week ago, and it seems like they are some really beautiful boards that they came out with. In fact, let me show it to you guys. It's quite beautiful, and we will go here. Let's see, and we will check out we'll go in Newegg, matter of fact. That way we can definitely check it out together here, because we know they have it. So we're going to the browser here. And this is again on Newegg, guys. So right now we're just going to look up the Gigabyte X3D boards. And they, allegedly, they improve your performance because of the new BIOS that they have. And everybody that does have a Gigabyte motherboard, let me know how you like it, because I've heard that they also updated the BIOS for you guys too. So you're no longer, they have a BIOS 2.0 practically. And with this new BIOS, you will also have improved clocking when it comes to your CPU, improved RAM usage, And with these new X3D boards, you can see up to like I believe up to a 15 to 20% difference when it comes to speeds. Now, here, let's take a look. They have the X878 Wars X3D, $379.99. Honestly, not a bad deal. And if this was truly like a blacked out motherboard here, I would love to do this. I would love to touch up on this. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys notice it, and if you guys already followed the channel as it is, you guys know I have this poor Z890 Ors Master just sitting back here because I'm waiting on Intel, which I will get into a bit. And I didn't want to use their 265 or their 285K, which is their Arrow Lake. They're supposed to come out with a refresh, which we will again talk in a little bit, and things are looking quite interesting when it comes to them. But when it comes to Gigabyte here, take a look at this. It comes with some really neat features. It's practically like a toolless motherboard, because when you take a look here, a lot of these have quick releases. Like all these areas, you can actually pop off this whole front panel right here, which is nice. And let's see, and even the ports that they offer here, the I/O ports, are all great ports to take advantage of. You have an easy button, which is going to be for like if you want to reset like your BIOS or something. And then when it comes to your USB 3.2, you have, it's all filled with it, and you don't have to worry about losing any type of speed. They obviously have the two USB-C ports here as well for USB-C, and they do have a 5 gigabit connection, I believe. Yep, 5 gigabit connection, Wi-Fi 7, and Bluetooth 5.4. And again, this is all for like just over $300, which is really a great deal. And here it is. This is what they were really pushing for, and as you can see, they want to show you the infinite performance that they have. Of course, X3D is it's a really good marketing name, I gotta say. They're borrowing from AMD for this board, but it fits nicely. And of course, they support 7000 to the AMD Ryzen 9000. For those who are just tuning in, we're just talking about Gigabyte's motherboard, especially if you're thinking of doing a new build. They actually just released this motherboard like probably a week ago. Also, it does have a VRM design, 16.2 and 2. They also do have, let's see, the AI overclock. I'm really curious about that. I wonder how the performance will be for it. And it's also, let's see, this is what I wanted to show you guys here. And, oh, Wasabi, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in real quick to say hi. I wish I could have went earlier. I apologize for not going earlier. Don't worry. Next week I will certainly do it. I am trying to push to do a little bit more lives too as well. But Champ says, does that motherboard have an extra power connector for USB-C charging? It should. That's a great question. It should. Now, let me zoom in here. This is how you know. I'm surprised they don't bring it up. Actually, they do a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to zoom in onto this. Right here. Right there. You see it? So, if you look here, like anytime you see this specific area, yes, it's under the 24 pin. Anytime, that's right, Champ. He knows exactly what he's talking about. My man. So, right under the ATX port, which is what he's talking about, under the 24 pin, is you're going to see something like this. It looks like a PCI Express connection, and it does also fit the CPU connection, depending on the type of power supply that you're using. It might have it double it as both, and when you connect that, it does have the power delivery that many are using it for. But I'm glad Champ has brought it out. And that is an excellent feature for anyone who is looking, say if you have a Samsung phone or you have any phone that really does have high delivery when it comes you charge via USB. If you can take advantage of it, you can use it to charge up even say like a MacBook if you wanted to, or another laptop. Maybe you don't want a MacBook, but the good thing is it does have the power delivery. And here's what I'm really excited. I wish they did use PCI Express and not EP. I know I feel like that's going to end up changing because I really like the fact that ASUS has brought up this new creation, and their new creation is going to be using more or less cable, not more, but more like I should say less cables when connecting certain features such as your GPU, because we all know if you connect your GPU, you got to hook up either to PCI Express ports, but mostly now everyone has practically gotten to PCI Express 3, 3.1. You have to hook up the 12-volt high power port, and that's the most dreaded port for anybody to connect. And what ASUS has come up with is actually a connector to where it provides more power to the bus port. So instead of having just this regular 75 watts you get from the bus of the motherboard, you will get an added, I think it's like, so far they got it pushed up to like just well over 265. So they got up to 265 plus the 65 watts off of the actual bus. That's pretty decent. That's like 325 watts about. So if they push even further, they could eventually maybe even power up something like a RTX 5090. But again, the 5090 still needs quite a bit of power, and we would need to connect like at least another like 200, like a 275 watts about, and to really add to it, and hopefully it doesn't cause any burning. That's the biggest fear that I know everybody has, especially when it comes to heat dissipation when it comes to the motherboard. Now, so I am not sure, but I've seen a PSU with 3 EPS connectors, but I could be wrong. Definitely possible, especially the higher watt ones. Sunner PCs, that is your favorite case to build in. So far, it's been great. The case that you see back here, it's been a very decent. Are you talking about the Corsair case? I'm assuming the Corsair 5500X. It's an excellent case, very easy to work on. I'm really more excited actually for these upcoming cases, which I could introduce to you guys. Height came out with a beautiful looking case. Corsair came out with their new one as well, and I'd love to show you guys those cases. I think the triple chamber, the air chamber, will be really nice to use. I don't think that's quite released yet, but once it is, I think that is certainly an advantage to take advantage of. So the motherboard here has M.2 easy latch clicks. Oh, what is my favorite case to build in? Okay, so my favorite case to build in personally, I have to say, this is a difficult choice because I loved every case. Most cases are really useful, I gotta say, when it comes to like taking apart and really building a PC. And personally, to me, I feel like to throw back Corsair in there, I love the Corsair cases. They do certainly make it easy. Working from the 4000D all the way up has been excellent, and just really easy to work on, especially because everything is practically connected. And they do give you like extra components you can take advantage of, such as when you use to connect like your motherboard. A lot of the wires are usually have like an extra, it gives you an extra like harness practically to hook up everything easier for you if your motherboard doesn't provide it. So Corsair has certainly been like one of the top favorites. Also another great one I gotta say, I gotta say is NZXT, because you could really take that completely apart to work on. But I would say those are the top two for certain. So when it comes to this Gigabyte X870E Aorus, when it comes to the X3D, it does have this Wi-Fi easy plug. That's a new thing everyone's introducing, instead of trying to screw in everything, because everything was a manual screw, kind of like those coaxial cables that would just, I feel like it would infinitely spin and just not really feel like it's really connected. But now everything just like kind of clicks in. When it comes with these easy latches, whether it's PCI Express or M.2 easy latches here. So this is something to take fully advantage of. Again, it's more toolless because you can really take everything out just like with a click of a finger. And this is the look of the board. Now they do have two different colors. What's up, Zay? Good to see you. I'm glad to see you in here. Welcome in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If anyone's just tuning in, I'm Chris Muzo. You can feel free to ask any questions when it comes to PC building or ask any questions that you would like. Now this stream's about PC hardware, and for those who are interested in maybe revamping their PC or even doing a brand new build or even have questions on newer hardware that is going to be released, which we kind of touched base on with NVIDIA. We talked about Xbox's pricing, which is kind of ridiculous, and the path the whole gaming industry is going on. Hopefully they end up correcting themselves here. But we're talking on the X3D currently. I'm a bit excited because that's being released. Chinese wide ITX motherboard, something YTX. Now, I've heard of something like this, but it's not quite this one. I've heard that Colorful has come out with like their motherboards, which I can certainly talk about in just a bit. I'll just have to look it up and find it. But I know Colorful has theirs coming out. I know ASUS has like their own line that's coming out, their new motherboards. And I think it's like, it's supposed to compete practically with MSI, which is pretty dope. And in fact, speaking of MSI, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. For anybody who's looking for more of a cableless design, they are coming out with the MSI Ventus. I think it's the Ventus 5070 Ti that has it. And with this GPU, they kind of pulled the same move. What Sapphire did with their GPU. And if you guys don't know what Sapphire did, hopefully you guys got to see that video where I did the RX 9070 XT build. If you guys did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They put the 12 volt high power port not on the outside of the GPU, or on 90% of the cards are pretty much like that. They're outside on the side of the GPU. Now, Sapphire has it in the inside where it covers it with a metal shield. Now, MSI has come out with their version of it to where it's practically like kind of like the same concept, to where you can actually connect their 12 volt high power port in the inside instead. And I gotta say, I'm glad to see that's becoming more apparent. It's going to make cases look a lot nicer because you don't have a cable kind of sticking out on the side. But for those who have like the RGB streamer cables from Lianli or something, you guys might not like it as much because then you don't have those nice RGB effects to your GPU. So I think the new B850AI top to the new boards, they have the 5 gigabit instead of the dual 10 gigabit. True. I'm building with a PC with a 9060 XT and a Ryzen 7 7800X X3D. So also 32 gigabytes of RAM. Is that a good combo? That's an excellent way to start off. Now you have everything that you have together. I like the sound of it. Having the 9060 XT is great. Having the Ryzen 7 7800 XT X3D is good. 32 gigabytes of RAM is excellent. I'm assuming, did you manage to get this deal out of Micro Center or Newegg? Out of curiosity. So far, it's a great deal. So now when it comes to your NVMe speeds, it depends on how your budget is. Now let me tell everybody out there, you don't need something like, actually I'll show you. I actually still have it sitting here. I'm waiting to do this whole Project Stealth because I want to throw this in. So you guys might be familiar with this. We went to Micro Center the other day. Well, not really the other day. It was like last month. I still got it just sitting here. And it's PCI Express 5, right? So for anyone who is thinking about getting this, you don't really need this. I'll tell you that right now. For anyone who's using it for gaming, you're not going to see a difference in speed because we don't truly utilize the PCI Express speeds when it comes to the NVMEs. Not quite yet. Microsoft is working on it, and it's called direct storage. But there's very, very little games. You could probably count with one hand on how many games that there is that use direct storage. and none of those games are going to be games that you want to play anyway. So if you do build a PC, you don't have to max out, you don't have to go crazy, you don't have to get something like this. You can get away with something like PCI Express 4, and you'd honestly be perfectly happy. So this 7800 X3D is overkill for that GPU, but it's future-proof. I'm assuming it's 16 gigabytes. It's got to be. Yes, that is the Gen 5 NVMe. We ended up getting that on sale when we went to the Micro Center Live. I ended up picking that up because it's going to be part of Project Ninja once we have that. So as I mentioned, it's good to just stick with PCI Express 4, especially for those who are on a tighter budget. So if you're wondering what the real advantage is of a PCI Express 5, it is 100% faster. I will tell you that. It is faster. But you're not going to take advantage of it unless you are a transfer king. You like to copy and paste files from drives. That's the only time you would see the difference. If you're that type of person who constantly, like say, uploads videos or uploads like big, large files, and you need to cut that time in half, that's when you have the advantage of a PCI Express 5. If you're not doing that and you're just gaming, it's not going to be a large difference at all. In fact, there's not even a large difference between PCI Express 3 and PCI Express 4. But PCI Express 4 is just better to get because you get the better value anyway when you do go for it. So I want to see a 990 Evo Plus instead of a 9100 Pro. Gen 4 probably fast enough for the foreseeable future. I think they're going to constantly... It's funny because I think they're on the last leg of it. I think they're going to really stop pushing on this whole PCI Express 4 because we're going to end up moving to the next notion, which is PCI Express 5. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I know it's currently expensive. I know everybody would prefer for everything to probably stay even to PCI Express 4. But in reality, they're going to end up getting rid of the PCI Express 4 NVMEs, and that's what I would really keep an eye on, especially next week. And I will, again, we might go live or do a video based on it, but I would keep an eye on those items because more than likely they're going to be on sale. Now, for anyone who is looking for memory, I do have to say, especially for DDR4, it's more than likely a good idea to hurry up and get it, especially this upcoming week, because they already announced that they're going to push up the pricing when it comes to flash memory. Specifically on DDR4, they are going to push up the price on DDR5 eventually. But right now, as of now, DDR4 is the one to watch, and DDR5 is also going to increase in pricing when it comes to the memory side. So if you do need memory, it's a good idea to keep an eye on it, especially this weekend, to see if there's any type of fluctuation in pricing. So, what's up, Pac-Man? I'm glad to see you too. It's been a while. So the 990 Evo Plus is interesting since it's actually Gen 5, but it's only 2 lanes. Exactly. It's oh wow. Yeah, that is a bit interesting, I gotta say. Also, I do have to mention to everybody out there, it's just slipped my mind because I did want to bring it up to you guys. And this also involves on the memory aspect too, because it is happening. There's been reports, specifically on laptops, not on the desktop end, not yet at least, which is, if you guys are familiar or if you've seen the video based on Cam 2, that they are certainly releasing it. It's actually being released in laptops now. So for anybody who has, say, like an ASUS ROG Ally, or you have a laptop that has LPDDR5, and you know that you can't remove that memory out anyway, unless you unsolder it, and then you have to hope for a successful solder after for the laptop to really recognize the RAM, or even the ASUS ROG Ally if you were going to do something like that. Now you don't have to worry about that anymore. Cam 2 eliminates that. Instead, they use a screw. It kind of looks like NVMe when it's installed. So that's going to be more on the portable use side. So Cam 2 is going to be an official thing. They already have been releasing it with some of these newer laptops. So nobody has to worry about being stuck with, say, 16 gigabytes of RAM. You can actually increase it now to 32 gigabytes. Once again, you're no longer locked into using just a certain amount of RAM. What's up? Good to see you. So I want to get the PC Mobo sale, and Intel is dominant in my country. Which budget ATX board would you recommend for 11th and 12th generation? That's a great question. So, since Intel is dominant in your country, let's say, or we would go with, like, say, a Z. You could go between a Z690 to a Z790. Either one of these boards you can go with. Now, personally for me, I feel like some great boards out there. I personally love the MSI Carbon. If you could get your hands on one, if you get your hands on a Z690 or a Z790 MSI Carbon, that's a good one to start off with. Also, ASUS has a decent one too. It's the e-gaming, I would say, is also really good from ASUS, and it's not as expensive. You could also get that. And if you want to look for gigabytes Aorus Elite is a really good motherboard as well. And I will look for those three motherboards, I would say, right off the top of my head. So, I am going to do a film building this PC and then edit the video on the PC. It will be my first video. What is a good editing software? Now, if we're talking free, again, everybody loves free, right? So, the best free software you can take full advantage of is DaVinci. Get DaVinci Resolve. It will certainly be one of the best softwares to do it. Now, can you just, and with your specifications, let me see. That's really pushing it. For Resolve, it's really pushing it, to be honest. I wouldn't say use Resolve. I would say then it would be better to use something like Premiere, because Resolve requires you to use your graphics card when you do use it. Now, your graphics card can more than likely handle it. It'll probably be fine doing it, but you won't be able to get the maximum efficiency out of it. If you're looking for maximum efficiency, then I would recommend something like Premiere is really good. Premiere Pro is an excellent one you can take advantage of. But if for free, I would just say just use Resolve for now and see how you like it. And let me know how you like it. And again, for anyone who has any questions or needs to send links, feel free to join the Discord group chat, and I will certainly open it up. I'll actually double check it now to see if there's anything on Discord here. So mind you, 11th and 12th, yes. I hope you're just meant, for some reason I'm thinking 12th to 14th gen. That's a good catch. 11th gen is a completely different socket. That's LG A1200s. Now, when it comes to the 12th to 14th gen, it's going to be LG A1700. So be really careful with that. That is, it's good that you brought that up. So $300. So now, let me see. I'm going to open up the Discord now. And I see it wasn't open. So I apologize for anyone who did open up Discord and sent any messages. I'm going to double check it now. As you can see, it's loading up here. So let's see. Discord. What do we have here? General. All right. Okay. So it looks like nobody has sent anything yet. I was expecting the links. So if anyone is looking to send any type of links or wants to show anything, show pictures, show video, feel free to send on Discord. And I will certainly meet you up on Discord, and we can certainly show it live here on the stream. And again, DaVinci is like a great software to use. I highly recommend it. In fact, let's go check it out and check out the requirements of it, actually. DaVinci's on, I believe they're on 21 now. DaVinci, no, they're on 20. Okay. I thought they already moved up to 21, and I'll show you what it looks like for anyone who is interested in editing. This is what it looks like here. DaVinci software. Again, it's completely free. Now, they do have a paid version. And I'll tell you right now, most people will fully take advantage of the free version. I mean, it's just as good as Premiere, the free version. So getting the full version is completely unnecessary unless you're doing something like super crazy cinematic. But like I said, that's not necessary to do it. Now, when it comes to using it, again, it's free software, very easy to use. They even have LUTs you can take advantage of, and I highly recommend it. And for this, let's see what type of specifications it requires. So it recommends at least... Okay, this is pretty fun. Okay, so that's talking about this. It's funny because I was thinking it was going to be about the specifications about DaVinci Resolve. Because I would think that's under tech specs, but I guess not. Let's find it. I'll find it real quick, and then I'll share it. So Nicholas Norris says he has a 3060, 12 gigabytes ARC 580 B5. So you have two GPUs here, A7. Oh, so you're thinking of all GPUs here. I prefer 8 gigabytes of VRAM. That's interesting. What's the reason for keeping about 8 gigabytes of VRAM? Just out of curiosity. I was trying to keep it... No, it's the... I'm telling you, DaVinci is not only Mac. It is not only Mac. That's you have to go over to the Windows side. They certainly do have it. I'll show you. Let me show you DaVinci 20 specs. And let me see. Let's pull it up here. Okay, so here it is right here. I'm going to pull it up here because I just want to give you the most accurate information about it. And it looks like... Let's see. Facts. Please check. All right. Should be around here. You know what? Let me just go back here because I know I just seen it. Okay. So, this is what I see. This is going to be directly out of Google. Oh, I was given options for Zay. I have a 40. Oh, okay. I gotcha. That's what I kind of figured here. Here it is. Yeah, we'll let AI answer this because this is from Google's AI here. How I save my GPU longer? What's wrong with your GPU? It's not starting to show lines on your monitor, is it? If it is, that's not a good sign. Like, what's your GPU doing, and what GPU do you have? Okay, so it recommends Windows, Mac OS, 14 Sonoma or later, or Linux. Processor, no specific processor listed, but a powerful multi-core processor is recommended because it doesn't really use, again, as I mentioned, doesn't really use as much processing space when it comes to DaVinci, so that's why it's not listed as long as if you have multi-core. Now it recommends between 16. Now when it comes to video editing, I recommend it's getting much RAM as you can. You can never have enough. 32 would be my minimum. I would not use 16 on that. Now the GPU, integrated or discrete GPU is required. It must have a minimum of 4 gigabytes of VRAM. The GPU must be OpenCL 1.2 for AMD and Intel or CUDA 12.8. So you don't have to worry about the CUDA 12.8. That's NVIDIA thing. Now when it comes to OpenCL 1.2, AMD does have that. And it seems for monitor usage, it says Blackmagic design hardware, storage. Yeah. So pretty much the most important aspect that you have to have is OpenCL 1.2. So AMD certainly has it. CUDA is an advantage for those who have it, have an NVIDIA card. That certainly makes it a lot easier when it comes to the editing workflow. But again, it's not necessary. It still can be done with NVIDIA. So, Ripto, let's talk. Let me know what is your GPU doing? Why do you need to save it? That's my question to you. Is there a big issue with it? Is it starting to do something crazy? Like where it freezes up while gaming? What's it doing? Because I gotta know. We would all love to know. Thank you very much. Also, what are your specs for the PC in the background? It looks really nice. That's a great question, actually. So, if you're curious for any of the parts, you're interested in any of the parts, they are down in the description box down below if you're just wondering. But the PC right back there, which we could talk about. I could do a quick zoom in. Let's see if we could do that, actually. That way, let me see. Let's zoom in on it. There we go, and we'll focus in. You see that PC right there? So that PC back there has a AMD Ryzen 9800X3D. It does have the ASUS ROG Radeon 360. That is the version 3 of it. Version 4 is really nice if you see it. It also has the Corsair, the newer Corsair fans in there, which are the, I think it is the LX, I forget what they call those ones anyway. But it does have G-Skill, 48 gigabytes of 6400 megahertz. It also has the Aorus RTX 5090 Master. So it's an excellent GPU, I gotta say, that's in there. Has, thanks to ASUS, it does have the wonderful X870E ASUS Hero. The included GPU support bracket actually looks great. It is. That's what I certainly have to say that's really good about when it comes to Gigabyte. They come with really decent support. Less issues, and it's not that cheap, flimsy type of GPU where it kind of just kind of sags. It's more the ones that are like an anti-sag type of GPU holder. Yeah, that's something I really don't like. But yeah, that's the setup there. It also has, what else? Am I missing anything, guys? I think I mentioned everything. It does have the Gigabyte 10,000 Aorus SSD. It does have NVMe 5. And I've also thrown that Western Digital PCI Express 4 in there as well. So let me pull back here, guys. But yeah, that's everything that's inside of that inside of the PC. And like I said, that 4 terabytes is a bit more useful on the gaming aspect more than anything. And for anyone who is curious and is asking, is it going to be a big difference if you game on an RTX 5090? Only way you'll really experience a large difference is if you're going to go on a large monitor setup, like you have 3 monitors that require, say, you're using it for 3 to 4K, then you would take full advantage of the RTX 5090. But if you guys don't do that, really, then the 5090 is not going to be really worth it for anybody if you're not going to go into 4K gaming at all. Because it's just not going to be, you're not really going to take advantage unless you're getting into the whole AI aspect, which is going to be into LLMs and things of that nature. But I gotta say, when it comes to MSI, which I do want to introduce, they also introduced another motherboard. In fact, Unico Hardware, shout out to him on X. He actually showed the new MSI board and ASUS board. Actually, there's 2 different boards. There are smaller motherboards that have been released, which I want to share with you guys as well. They're actually really nice looking. In fact, let's see. We'll go there right now and we'll check it out. And I'll go find this page real quick so I can... Actually, I think I even retweeted it. Let's take a look. Now, I'm going to go down here and find it somewhere here in the mix. There we go. So, I'm kind of new to PC building, so this might be a dumb question, but if I use editing software with my 9060 XT, do I have to switch between gaming and editing drives? No. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You can keep the game drivers. You don't have to worry about switching drivers. That's not necessary. Those who use studio drivers are going to be specifically those who just use studio. If you like the game as well, then the gaming drivers will be will certainly reach the needs that you're looking for. Now, looking at Tech Power Up, MSI X4060 seems solid. I've never had a problem with MSI. I have a 2080 Ti in another system from MSI. It's great. I'd say MSI is excellent when they come with their products. I really like what Unico brought up here, which is, again, shout out to him, Unico, because he also brought it up. He brings up very interesting aspects, which is gaps between RAM slots. MSI says yes, ASUS doesn't care. Perfect triangle between CPU sockets. MSI says yes. ASUS doesn't care. And then MSI B850 M Power. And the B850, this is the one I think you were talking about, the AYW. That's their new board that they released right here. This is how it looks like. The two boards, right? What's up, JHDC? It says, hello, good day. Can I ask a question? Can you please compare Raspberry Pi 400, 500, 500 plus versus N100 laptops to do basic productivity? Okay, so when it comes to Raspberry Pi, all of them are going to do any type of basic productivity. What type of productivity are you trying to look to do? Just out of curiosity here. Now, you see how it's a bit more wider when it comes to the gap? This is what he's talking about. It has a bit of a wider gap when you get the ASUS. It's much more wider. And then when it comes to MSI, it's super tight. Like, they keep it tight on purpose, I think, to give you a bit more space to work on. Some people might like it, some people might not like it, depending on your opinion here. And then if you look at the gap difference between the two, like, you see how it's like almost like perfectly centered, right? And then you notice here it's not perfectly centered. It's just like, it's right there. You can see quite the gap between the two. And then when you take a look here, you can really see it. There it is, the Oris, and then you got the ROG Crosshair. So I love getting notifications saying that you're alive. What would your recommendations for SSD for 4 terabytes on 5090 build? It's strictly for gaming. Okay, so if you're getting something strictly for gaming, it's funny, I just spoke on behalf about on a 5090 build. So for SSD for 4 terabytes, so you mean SSD, I'm assuming. So for 4 terabytes on something that's a 5090, honestly, you could get away with a PCI Express 4 NVMe or PCI Express 3 if you really wanted to. So when it comes to, but I would go, if you wanted to pick, I would go with the Samsung, say 9000. Samsung's 9000 Pro is an excellent NVMe, or not 9000, 990. Sorry about that. It's the 990, or the 990 Evo Plus is also a great one as well. Highly recommend it from everybody all over, can tell you that. Or you can go with Western Digital's. Their Western Digital Black, the 850s, also an excellent NVMe to go with as well. But yeah, great question to ask. But any of those would do. And Slim Shady, I do have to say, if you are looking to, if you're looking to get the most out of your money too, that Amazon and Newegg, Micro Center more than likely as well, will certainly be doing their sales coming up very soon. Like, I mean, like less than a week, maybe 5 days from now, actually. And when that happens, we'll go live or we'll do a video based on it. And we'll take a look and I'll show you which ones are really a deal and which ones are kind of BS. So, Word documentation for text creation and maybe IDEs like PyCharm for programming. Okay, so if you're going to be comparing something like that, now the N100 is something a bit new because that's going to be based more on AI nodes, I believe, with the N100. So I got to take a look on that. I'll double check it with you. I'm going to go over it, and when I do, I'll take a look and tell you which one would really be the best. But personally, if I were to guess, it's going to be between the 500s, and it's going to be between the 500 and the N100, I would say. So Word documents for, so what games do I play? So games-wise, I actually play a ton of different games. Of course, I love FPS, RPGs. Currently, I'm really excited for Battlefield 6. I've been playing not Dark Souls, but I've been playing Elden Ring. I've been stuck playing on that. And currently, I'm also, I'm looking for the Ninja Gaiden 4 that's being released. That's another game that I gotta play when it comes out. Also, So I'm really big into like any type of like RPGs, first person shooters, and like really action games are all the type of genre I like to play. I would love to play RTS if they came out with more than them because the world needs it. It's crazy how there hasn't been like really new RTS games like that. So it's hard to go wrong with just about any modern Gen 4 PCI Express. So CJ says, how are you, my friend? I have a 3080 Ti. Do you think I need to move to 3080 or should I wait? You mean 5080? I hope you mean 5080, not a 3080 Ti. You would be going backwards then. Is that what you mean, CJ? You're thinking of going 5080 from a 3080 Ti? Yeah, I thought so because that would certainly be a mistake. You don't want to do that. So now I got to tell you my opinion. Now when it comes to the 5080 compared to the when it comes to the 3080 Ti, there's not going to be. Now, first I do have to say this: what is the usage that you're using it for, so I can give you a much more accurate answer, and then we can figure it out then. Because I want to give you again the most top-notch answer here. Approximately 52 performance improvement over 3080. Yes. Now again, it all depends on what you're using it for too. If you do play a lot of modern games, you'll see an improvement. What type of monitor you're also playing on too is also a big important aspect as well. If you're playing on a 1080 monitor, like an HD monitor, feel free to let me know, and I can certainly help kind of point you in the direction. So gaming, right? Okay, so you're using it for gaming, and what type of monitor? What's your refresh rate? Are you planning to get a new monitor? Because all of that's going to really matter too. And 100 is like the part of the cheap gang, but not good because I think they're, yeah. A lot of those laptops are like that. And if you were to go in 100 laptop, then that's something you would have to be willing to take as well. I would say, again, the Raspberry Pi 500 would probably be the best choice, honestly, or the 500 plus. Depends on the games you're playing, and your CPU can benefit from better GPU. Now, with 9060 XT, should I get a 1440p 240? Oh. I'll get right back to your question, Sonner. Let me just finish my question there. I'll even highlight it to make sure I answer your question there, bud. So, for CJ, you have a 2K 500 hertz display, so practically 2560 by 1440, I'm assuming. So if you have that type of display, you will certainly see an improvement. Okay, so then yes, it will be worth the upgrade, 100% worth the upgrade. You can take full advantage of your refresh rate finally. You will see a big, large difference, especially if you're a big fan of like games such as Counter-Strike 2. It sounds like, I'm assuming you're a big competitive shooter, maybe like Counter-Strike 2. I'm just assuming that because you have such a high refresh rate monitor. Also, if you take advantage like maybe more of the type of battle royale games such as like Fortnite even, you could certainly see an advantage because again, the FPS will be pushed to its maximum rate, and that's what you want. The 5080 can certainly handle that. But you'll certainly see a big difference from the 3080 Ti because again, the maximum on that GPU was only up to I believe it was 12 gigabytes. So now with the 9060 XT, should I get the 1440p 240 hertz IPS display, or is that too excessive? Now, if you have a 9060 XT, what is your display currently? That's what we have to know too. What are you currently playing on right now? Now, if you get 1440p 240 hertz, more than likely your GPU can handle it. But certain games might have trouble hitting all the way to 240, to be honest, with the 60 XT. But you will have no problem when it comes to the competitive side of it. If you're trying to max out on, once again, like how I mentioned a little bit earlier with that 5080 and that 2K monitor, you shouldn't have an issue like when it comes to that side either. So do you think I need to wait for the Super or take, okay. Now, this depends. This really depends on your patience. So 240 hertz on 90x, yes. Yep, Nicholas, just like what Nicholas said. So, do you think I need to wait for the Super, or should I take the 5080? Another great question. Now, depends on how long your patience is. Because more than likely, just get it out of your mind that the Super is going to come out January, or even in March. It's more than likely going to be a lot more accessible between summer of 2026 to fall of 2026. So say like the same time next year, you could probably get a Super version. Are you able to wait that long? Does it really matter? Do you see that much of a decrease in performance where you need to get it now? That's the question. If you could wait one full year, and again, if you play more modern titles, they're just going to be a bit more harder on your GPU as well. So you would also have to take that into consideration. Or if you are or you stick to a game to where you don't honestly switch to, really need to switch a GPU out for. If you play a game like Counter-Strike where it's not as demanding, then maybe it's worth the wait. But if you are very competitive and you're like, no, I'm trying to do this I'm an esports guy, this is what I do, then it's going to be worth it. So, my CPU is a 9950. All right, let me go back here. Do you think I need, my CPU is a 9950 XRD and my board's an X870. So great combo, the both of them. And if anyone wants to stick around, meaning if you want to make sure to stay in touch, make sure you follow the Discord channel. It's right down in the description box down below. Anyone can join it. Also, this channel, I am featuring new tiers, which I am excited to announce, which are pretty much exclusives to everybody. Feel free to join. It's not necessary. I would, of course, greatly appreciate you guys for it. But membership tiers are available on the YouTube channel as well. And also, I can also help with your technical questions as well. I also help on Discord, so you could also feel free to reach out there if you have any more of those technical questions. But make sure to stay in contact. Make sure to follow Twitch, YouTube, and on X as well. So, to get back to Sunner PCs, a 60 hertz. Oh, man, you better throw that thing in the trash. 60... You got to get rid of that thing. 60 hertz panel, get that out of there. Yeah, you need that display has to go. No, you're not being excessive. Please get the new 1440 248 hertz display. It's going to be like a night and day difference. So 5070 Ti could be a stopgap for the 5080. Or the 6080, or about 15% slower, better value, just a thought. Good point to bring up, Nicholas. Glad you brought that up. If I'm just a gamer, do you think it's okay for me to consider? No. It's funny. Again, I'll bring this up again. 5090 is not going to be built for everybody. 5090, for those who want to game. Sure, it's powerful. You get the maximum frame rate, sure. And that's what they sell you on it. NVIDIA is very good at selling. But this is the thing. Unless you have a crazy panel, you have a crazy type of display, you have two 4K 240 hertz displays, then you would take advantage of it. But if you don't, then it doesn't really matter. You're going to get the same performance if you're doing it on a RTX 5080. So you're already like maxed out. You have all this... you have all this power that's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? You're only going to be using like 25% of the card, if that. So, would give you the best. Absolutely. I also play on the Xbox One. Right now, Sunner PCs. I gotta ask you, what's your thoughts about the whole Xbox situation? Are you still going to stick with Game Pass Ultimate, or did you end up getting rid of it? Or do you have the other, the lower tier, which is just the Xbox Game Pass? Correct me if I'm wrong. So, can I ask another question? What gens of SSDs are acceptable as a boot drive to get faster power of a desktop PC? Honestly, any type of NVMe, especially PCI Express, like since you're going off a Pi, even PCI Express 3 would be perfectly fine. It will boot just as quick, and it has the speeds and the capabilities that you're looking for. I would say the minimum, if you're looking for a speed minimum, honestly, anything over, what is it, like about 600 megabytes per second, anything over that, you would be certainly would certainly work. It would work great. It would still work fast, and that's like a very small number. For example, PCI Express 3 is up to 3,000 megabytes per second, so you're going to take full advantage of like the operating system anyway. So that's like the minimum you need. So PCI Express 3 would be like even good enough, to be honest. That's why I'm moving to PC. I'm done with Xbox. I get it. I feel your pain. I'm surprised there isn't more people. I'm baffled, honestly. I want to text my friend again, and he literally said, it's not that bad. I got to show. Let me see. I just got to share this with you guys, because this is insane. I kind of felt like, what were you thinking? Because I just got to share this. Let me see. So he said, here it is. I'll show you this part, guys. Hopefully you guys can see it nice and clear. But I said, so I just sent him the text about the price increase, just to give you the topic. And this was what it was to show you guys. Oh, hopefully it clears up there. Let me clear it up there. Go back. There we go. Right there. There we go. Now you can see it, right? So you can see his response. It's kind of ridiculous, right? He said, oh, it's not that bad. It's all part of life, right? It's all part of life. So our SSDs, drives that are placed on motherboards like RAM, also the same speed at 2.5-inch SSDs. Well, those drives, no, they're SATA drives. You're thinking of the SATA drives. Yeah, so they're a little bit different. They don't go as fast. The reason why NVMe's go quicker, because they run on the bus. It's a direct connection, just like how you mentioned RAM. It's a direct connection. So you don't have the lag, which is, it's not real. You won't notice it as much, but you won't have the lag from the SATA cable to the motherboard versus a direct connection to the motherboard. So there's no lag at all when it comes to NVMe. So that's the biggest difference between it. I can't even play Minecraft online without paying $20. Oh, that is sad. Can you imagine? You can't even get to enjoy your life. And the best part is, if you become part of PC gaming, that you don't have to pay online forever. We've had PC gaming for as long as we've known online for just about like I'd say like probably about 3 decades at least. Maybe 2.5 to 3 decades. So SATA uses a connector, NVMe goes to the board. Okay. Another question. I have a Intel i9 14900K. Do you think it's enough for me, or should I go upgrade to AMD? Of course, if I took the 5080 or the 5080 Super. So if you chose to upgrade, you chose to go 14900K. You have a 14900K. So that's a great question to ask, because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this subject, especially if you're on the Intel side. You're already at the end of the cycle for any type of new processors, obviously, because you're maxed out. You're at the 14900K. You're at the top tier already. Honestly, that motherboard's going to last you quite some time. You don't have to go AMD. You could. Now, that's optional. Of course, it seems like you are trying to get the best of the best. And to be honest, I would honestly wait if you were to really want to get the best of the best, because AMD will announce their 10,000 series Ryzen chips. And when they do, it's going to be quite the game changer. Now, is it going to be called Ryzen 10,000? I don't know. It could be called Ryzen 195 AI or something, because, it's AMD. give it some sort of wild title, especially that AI is like the new big thing. But anyway, the point is, I will wait for their new processors because they're going to use the top of the top silicon, and because they did it with the 9950 X3D, it's literally the top and the best silicon you can really get when it comes to CPUs, and they saved it specifically for the 9950 X3D. So I can't imagine what they would have up their sleeves when it comes to the new series, and it's also AM5 compatible, which is a great advantage. So you can certainly wait for that to see how that turns out, if you want to be like really on the top of the top. But again, to be honest, again, if you stay on the 14900K, it wouldn't really matter as much. You're already at PCI Express 5, you already have DDR5, you have all these features, and more than likely, the real advantage you're going to see is going to be from the GPU itself. So, I would say I wouldn't switch unless you really cared about having the best bragging rights, really, or if you're really truly competitive. If you are going to be an esports competitor, let me know. So, hi, I have a dilemma. I have AM4 3700X and a 570 with the 2070 Super trying to upgrade, or just trying to upgrade the GPU to a 9060 16 gigabytes or 5070. Great question, because you have the 3700X and now you're thinking of going up. Now, the problem is when you do stick to AM4, just know that when it comes to these newer processors, not newer processors, newer GPUs, such as the 50 series and even AMD's 90 series, you're going to run to some sort of bottleneck. And that's going to be specifically because you're not on PCI Express 5. It's not going to be a large bottleneck, not going to be large enough for maybe even you to notice for you, unless you're on a newer board. But you're going to lose about 5% power on either one. So either if you go NVIDIA or AMD, when it comes to their newer GPUs, you will notice a loss of power from the GPU because you're not utilizing the full power. Ironically, we don't take advantage of the full speeds of PCI Express anyway, but because of the technology, there is going to be a discrepancy between the PCI Express lag. So it's just like a small reduction, 5% power loss, but you will still see an improvement in GPU usage. But the good thing is that you'll be able to be future-proofed in case if you do want to upgrade in the near future. So with that out the way, I can say if you do choose to upgrade, either one will do. It's up to your budget. Now you can get the 9060 16 gigabytes, or you can get the 5070. Again, you'll be limited. If you go 5070, just get the Ti version. You'll spend an extra 100 or 200 or for what it is, but the extra VRAM, you're going to need it. Take advantage of it. 12 gigabytes is not going to be it anymore. Yeah, no problem, JHTC. So in my computer science class, my teacher bought a PC for us to fix, and she said the hard drive was corrupted, but would not even boot into the BIOS, and so she is right. Yes. So by the way, are you on part 1 or 2 or 3? Honestly, I got 2, and I'm thinking of actually hooking up a third one, which is actually this way. And for the reason being why I have a third one hooked up is specifically for the usage of chat. So I can look in the chat on this side and look directly to you guys. Either that or even change the camera position. But that's just some ideas that I have going on. So what do you guys think? Is it better if I change the camera angle, or you prefer the chat being on this side? I'd love to hear what you guys think. So I'm likely to be HHD. A hard drive. Yeah, more than likely. What if it doesn't boot into the BIOS? It sounds corrupted. Usually when that happens, if it doesn't boot into the BIOS at all, what's it doing anyway? Does it power on at least? Does it power on, and what's it show? I'm curious. Does it show numbers? Does it show do you get the boot logo? Does it say stuck at the boot logo? Should the PC at least... Yes. JHDs. Yes. Because you can either have a corrupted... it's a couple of guys here are correct. It can be like corrupted... It can be corrupted hardware, which is like RAM, or it could be even like a corrupted BIOS. You'll usually get the indication when you boot it, and you'll notice like something weird about it, obviously, if it's not booting. So when are the Sapphire motherboards going? They are on sale already, actually, Tony. That's a great question. They are actually on sale already. And in fact, I think Sapphire, let me check out Newegg. Let's go check out Newegg together and see if they're on sale. Because I'm curious. Let's see. Let's go on Newegg. Newegg. Let's look up these Sapphire motherboards. Let's hope they're there. Let's see. Because I am tempted. And there's another new board which I'm pretty excited about. I would love to see. Let me see. Let me get that out the way. Menu. Trying to clear something out the camera here. It just doesn't want to get out of it. Where's that button? There we go. Beautiful. All right. So Sapphire B850. Oh, here it is. See, they already got it. It's quite the beauty. And I don't know if I told you guys, but Sapphire, if you guys are unfamiliar with them, they also create the AMD graphics cards. Definitely one at the top in the line. You got to check them out. If you never tried a Sapphire card, you probably love it. From the 9060 to the 9070. We did a build based on one. Excellent card to have. One of the guys actually just did a build on the 9070 XT. He's loving it. He's loving his numbers. Check it out on Discord. And they do have motherboards that just had recently released. Pretty excited for it for the most part. And they seem like great motherboards. Again, it's only $239 for this one. But there's a rumor that they're also coming out with the Nitro Plus, where it's going to have full features of an X870, and it's going to have hidden ports, like practically like those boards, like BTF boards or stealth boards from Gigabyte or Project Zero for from MSI. So it's going to have all those features, and but that's something that I bet they're testing the waters right now to see how well this is received. I'm curious if people actually did buy it. I do want to get it myself just to see how it's like. Now, I'm sure you guys will love to take a look at this. Now, so ASUS X870 Max Gaming Wi-Fi 7 versus the ROG X870 Steel Legend Wi-Fi versus the ASUS Gaming X870 Plus Wi-Fi. Which one is better for premium gaming? I would say, honestly, go to the Tough Gaming X870 Plus Wi-Fi. You can't go wrong. Now, the X870 Max Gaming Wi-Fi, I have to see which one that one is, because that sounds like another board. But I would, so far I'm pointing at the Tough Gaming X870 Plus. So will the old BIOS hold back performance on the 9950 X3D? Absolutely. It can certainly hold back performance. Reason being is because anytime there's a new BIOS updates, they take away any type of weird glitches or security issues when it comes to your processor. So you can certainly see you can even see a decrease in performance compared to the newer BIOS. You won't notice it, of course, until you update. But also, be wary. It's always good to check notes or check up other people who has upgraded to the new BIOS to make sure it hasn't made their performance worse, because that could also happen as well. So, motherboards tend to make minimal difference in gaming performance. It's more about what they offer, like the speed of Ethernet, Wi-Fi. Yes, that's why like the chipsets matter. Nicholas is correct. As long as if it's an X870, you'll take full advantage of it. As long as if you have the proper processor for it, you have more lanes. I picked up the 9060 XT, 16 gigabytes for $300 today. Oh, but really? That's a great deal, champ. Which 9060 XT was it? So I feel like it's better to buy a more expensive motherboard than a CPU. CPUs are always an upgrade for AM4. Yeah, that is true, Tony. Sometimes it's much easier to swap out a processor than a motherboard. So you want to make sure to get a decent motherboard that does anybody that does get one, but at least make sure it's the proper chipset. If you go all out, you don't want to go with the cheapest motherboard possible. I typically don't like anyone that goes like for the A620s, for example, which are like the low end of like Intel, or you go for like the lower end ones like the I forget what's under the B850, but if you go for the low, I think it's the B560s. No, that's Intel too. It's another one. I can't think of it, but you don't want to go for the lower ones because you won't take full advantage of the processor's capabilities. So I would, yeah, just don't go for something like this. I gotta share this with you guys because I'm sure you guys agree with this. You gotta like, let's go godlike MSI, and let's see, like something like this. This is not necessary, not for anyone. You can get it. This is like a very enthusiast, and this is much more of an enthusiast than motherboard. It's nice, it's beautiful, right? But again, it's not necessary. Not everybody needs something like this. This is like a bit of overkill here. Which is, you see that price? $1,099.99. And more than likely, if you're just using it for gaming, and that's all that you're using it for, this is not going to make or break the difference. It's quite crazy, right? That pricing right there. So, I had Tough. It was pretty alright. Not my favorite vendor. I tend to prefer MSI. Perfectly understandable. Everyone has their own preferences when it comes to brands. There are two approaches when it comes to troubleshooting a PC with a broken drive. One have a separate compatible component like a PSU, motherboard, processor that are working, and then have a PC. Absolutely easiest way to check. Personally, I'd skip ASRock currently. Too many reports of burnt CPUs. It's practically become a meme. In fact, ASRock in Japan. This is somebody you guys might love this. ASRock in Japan, speaking of this, has announced that they have extended warranties if you buy an ASRock board. So you get an extended warranty for another year or 2 years if you buy an ASRock board, just in case if your CPU gets cooked. If you get a 9800 X3D that turns into barbecue. So I feel MSI needs more sleek boards like Tomahawk. I just don't like seeing a giant dragon. Yeah, I know some people aren't a big fan of it. Upgrading my son from a 6700 XT to save on power because he lost his PSU cables and I'm having power it. Oh, okay. And he's having power. That makes perfect sense. 9060 XT is the way to go. GPUs can only become more power efficient over time, or they say. It depends who you ask. If you ask Jensen Huang, he might oppose to that. So his PC keeps shutting down due to overdraw from... Oh, that makes sense. See, Champ's he's a good dad. So, yeah, I like ASRock because I got cheap ones, but I heard right now they break... Yes, that is true. Do some pre-builds use... So, that's a great question. When it comes to pre-builds, people have this great question. Now, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to pre-builds, it's going to be a motherboard from something like Alibaba, where it's from Temu, because these motherboards are not going to be good motherboards. They're just motherboards that work, that turn on the PC. That's it. They're not even ATX, a lot of the pre-built motherboards. So even if you wanted to say change out the motherboard, you can't, because unless you want to create new mounts and all that, like you gotta really love the case, your pre-built case, in order to do this. But anyway, even if you do, if you do buy a pre-built PC, the motherboards are more than likely a motherboard that has its own custom mounts, such as Dell. They do that. HP does that. A lot of these manufacturers will do that on purpose, so that way you have to go to them for if you have any serious issues. So, would you say 400 is the max if you would spend on a motherboard? Now, if you're using it for gaming, 400 honestly is good enough. There's a lot of great boards that you could spend for 400 bucks. Like if you had to choose, I could tell you right off the line. Like you got now. This is I'm just gonna start like alphabetical order here. You got the ASUS F Gaming B850 you could even get. But if you want to get the X870E, it's a little bit over 400 though, which would be the e-gaming board from ASUS is an excellent one. Now when it comes to MSI, you could go Tomahawk, 300 bucks. Again, B850 motherboard or the X870E version. And of course, MSI also has the Carbon, which is another favorite, but I think that's slightly over 400 too. When it comes to Gigabyte, they have a great one. The Aorus Elite is a great motherboard. It's like a little bit over $300. And again, we just actually showed it. It's a week old, in fact. The X3D version, $360. X870E can take full advantage of it. Less than 400. That's probably the best bargain, to be honest. Is that one, and especially because it's practically refreshed. Or you can go to the Aorus Master. Again, that's a much more of an enthusiast board. I would say Elite would probably be the better way to go. Or even go to the original X870E Elite. It's probably also on a great deal currently. So, are you streaming on YouTube Shorts or is it because I'm on my phone? So, I'm streaming on actually both. So, I'm streaming on horizontal, vertical, streaming on both on Twitch, and I'm also streaming on X as well. So if anybody out there who is curious where the stream is coming from, it's coming from all different angles. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's two different ones. You can go into the horizontal format if you'd like, which is going to be the full landscape mode. Or if you're on the phone, you can watch it as a short as well, if that's what you're curious about. And also on Twitch and on X, they're also on widescreen format, which is landscape mode. So why is the 9800 X3D burning up? That's a great question. ASRock keeps mentioning this. And the funny thing is they keep saying it's the firmware. Originally, they tried to point fingers at AMD and they said there's something wrong with AMD's 9800 X3D. And AMD was like, nope, it ain't us. We don't have any issues here. We've tested it, no problems. It seems like it's your motherboards because ironically, it's only their motherboards, which it truly is. And there was one guy who had the 9800 X3D. He bought it originally with, now this is on a specific board, which is the Taichi ASRock X870E. So it's specifically on that motherboard. He bought it, and of course it burned out the first time. Sends it back. ASRock honors the warranty and everything. They realize it's their fault. It becomes a big stinking mess with them. And then they send them a brand new board. Now, brand new board works great. New firmware is released. Everyone's happy. New BIOS after BIOS. They're probably on like their 4th or 5th update. But anyway, he's on the new BIOS. And again, fizzles out. Another problem. Second time he runs into the 9800 X3D burning out. He sends it back in and they offer him a new board. So in that situation, would you really go for it again? Would you really go for the would you really go for ASRock's Taichi motherboard after that? Or would you just change out the motherboard at that point? Especially if it's your third time. I'm pretty sure they covered the cost of the 9800 X3D. At least I would hope he made sure that they paid for it because that's not cheap. So, I thought ASRock has burned not X3D. No. Did they? I could be wrong. If they did, that would be insane. But I know specifically on the 9800 X3D, they certainly have done it. A political question. Pizza with pineapple or pizza without pineapple? I gotta say, but it's funny. Because pizza with pineapples, actually, it is pretty good. But the thing is, I can't approve it. I can't approve pineapple on pizza. It's just, you can't do it. It just does. You just got to go traditional. You got to go with the pepperoni pizza. What's wrong with that? It's perfect. I think it's great. For my PC, it's going to be a first build. I'm excited for your Sunner PCs. I hope you join Discord. I really look forward to your build. Everyone who is just joining in, please join into the Discord. I would love for you guys too. Would love to see your PC builds, and feel free to ask questions. For anyone who's just tuning in, I'm Chris Mizo. This is at AMA. You can feel free to ask me anything. And specifically, if you're wondering what the niche is about, this is about PC hardware, PC gaming. You're thinking about doing a PC build. You see your Xbox now, and you heard the new October 1st announcement on the Xbox price increase when it comes to Game Pass. Now you just want to kick it, or you want to throw it into the trash. We get it. You're sick of it. So why not join us? You'll have a way better life, I promise. So, I was born in a town that started pineapple on pizza trend, of course. Without. I agree. I gotta agree with you. Can you check out my parts right now? Sure. Did you put it on Discord? If you put it on Discord, I'll check it out. And I don't think you sent anything, right? I'm on the PC hardware side. Again, but I can certainly check out the parts for you for sure if you'd love to. But let's go back real quick to the browser real quick, because who doesn't like to look at a $2,000 MSI board? There's this 1 gigabyte board that is insanely expensive. It's practically a collector's piece. There's no way you would build a PC with this. It's right down in the description box down below. You should see a Discord link, and I'll post it, matter of fact, just in case if anybody has trouble finding it. Let me see. Just give me a moment, guys, and I will pull it. Actually, you could go to my website, which is going to be chrismizo.com, just like how it sounds and spelled. Let's see. Let me go open this up too. That way I can make sure I can send it to you guys here. Because I know if I send it through this chat here, sometimes it doesn't like me to send URLs for some reason. So I'll send it through here. Let's see. There we go, chat. Okay. Working on it there. And let me see. You can go to my website, which is chrismizo.com, ironically. If you go here, just go up here on the top, you'll see the Discord link. Just click it. For right up here on the top, click the Discord link, and that will take you over to the Discord. You'll get the invite. So, and I'll copy it. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll copy it for you guys, just in case. And if anybody has trouble finding it, right here. Let me know if the link goes through, guys, because I know it doesn't work 100% at the time. Hopefully that does it. It should send through Twitch, and it should send through YouTube. And also, make sure to don't forget to like the video. It really does help the channel. Hopefully you're having a lot of fun with this stream. I joined your Discord, but I'm really confused how to send on glitch. Okay. So that's a great question. Let's go in Discord so I can show you. So, and when you go into the Discord server, let me see. Let me pull it up here. When you go to the Discord server, it's hiding right now. Right here. There you go. Beautiful. So when you go up here, you're going to see something up on the top, and you'll see something that says rules. You want to hit that very top one that says rules. And when you hit rules, just go down here and hit that green check mark. And that's how you'll see all the other servers. So for anyone that's curious, again, just go up to the top right up here. It's going to say rules up here on the top left-hand corner. And when you go to that top left-hand corner, then go over here to the bottom here. And you can hit the green check mark. But that's how you do it. That is how you join the fandom. Also, let's see. Let's go back to the browser here. It's hidden right now. No, we're not. We don't want DaVinci Resolve. Let's go back on Newegg. We want Newegg. The Jonesbo TF3. Sure. Let's check it out. Gigabyte. What is that board? I just really want to show you guys this board. It's freaking insane. What is it? The Ultimate? I forget. But it's something crazy expensive. Ultimate? It's like crystallized or something. It looks like ice. It's a really nice motherboard here. Dang, Supreme something crazy. Something crazy here. It comes with a toolkit and everything. Supreme, I think. It's really wild. All right, let's look up Tony's recommendation first here. We're gonna look up the Jonesbo TF3. Jonesbo TF3. Just in case if Newegg doesn't have it, well, we can always Google it. They don't have it. All right, that's fine. Jonesbo TF3. Is this it? The 360 SC. Oh, okay. This one's the S. This might be a reiteration where that could be version B, I'm assuming, right? And it has IPS4 screen water cooling. The fan airflow goes to 21 to 62. That's actually pretty. That's a lot of airflow. So the noise level is about 37.3. It's not terrible. That's not too bad though. It's not terrible. But to be honest, it is a little. It can be loud for some people though. But that's honestly, is that a cooler that you have, Tony? Oh, really? Oh, that would make sense then. That, you know what, it kind of reminds me of like almost like those Lian Li fans. But you know, Lian Li, they're always expensive when it comes to their fans. All right, so let me check the Discord right here, and welcome guys. Appreciate everyone joining the fan bam. No, I was just watching ZTT. Oh, let me. You know what? Let me show you these fans too. I'm sure you guys seen it too. Lian Li fans, LCD. It's very dope. It kind of reminds me of these. But that's, of course, it's going to be a lot cheaper than this, I bet. So you see how they got the temperature right in the middle of the fan? I remember someone has a build on Discord. I forget who it was, but they shared it and they have this. They actually got 7 fans. No, it's like 7 or 8 fans of this, which is insane. Really nice though. Really nice setup. I think one of his LCDs wasn't working, so he actually had to send one of them back. But it would be amazing to build. I can't imagine like how that would be. But that's pretty dope though. On very cheap desktop build or a mid-range budget build, one must not cheap out on PSU. What's the minimum budget should go to a PSU? I absolutely agree. Now, a lot of people do this. A lot of people end up like cheaping out on a PSU because they feel like it's not really, yeah, it's a boring part. Just admit it. Nobody likes to look at the PSU. You're never gonna see it. It's not going to be flashy at all. It's just practically a metal box that distributes power. But anyway, the minimum you should spend, it's not really about what you spend. It's more about, it is about what you spend, but it's also matters about the rating on it. You want to make sure that you spend at least, a decent PSU will cost you at least like a little bit over $100, depending on your wattage. Assuming you don't need that much wattage, you could easily spend a little bit over $100. Very rarely you're gonna see any PSUs under $100 anymore. Everything is like a decent PSU will run between like $100 to say you could easily even spend up to $500 on a PSU. But the most important aspect, you want to know what type of materials are being used in it. Japanese capacitors are a big positive if they have them. It's also good if they use a hydraulic fan compared to like a really basic type of fan. What else is good? Those are the most aspects you want to look for, is those. The power, like when it comes to like the gold rating and all that, that's not really about the quality of the PSU. Again, you want to look at the hardware that it uses. So I would say you want to mainly look for that. What's up, Squeeze? I feel Lian Li is overrated. No, I get it. I do get it. It can be a bit. That's why it's so expensive, right? They know people. There's a demand for it. I mean, look at how much Lian Li's streamer cables are. Like when it comes to their streamer cables, when it comes to the ATX, or when you use it for a GPU, they're $40 each. That's a lot. They're probably pissed about the whole like BTF boards because now you can't buy them. There's no need for it anymore if you get a BTF board. So, purple and gold mines. Would you go NVIDIA or AMD for GPU? Looking at the 9060 XT and the 5060 Ti, is the price per performance justified for NVIDIA? Now, to be honest, if you're going to compare 5060 Ti and the 9060 Ti, I would say you're going to... Now, AMD kind of skimped a little bit themselves, but NVIDIA really skimped on the 5060 Ti. It's truly not a 5060 Ti. It's more like a 5050. So I would say it would actually be better if you're looking for more cost efficiency and savings. I would say go 9060 Ti. So about 70 USD is minimum. Corsair CX. Oh, is it? That's actually decent. The CX. Again, that's like a very basic power supply to CX 650. That's actually not too bad. That's a good deal. I used to be a Team WEG, but a glitch put me back into the starter group. I'm trying to get back in the WEG. Splave is in that team. Oh yeah? That's wild. Yeah, I thank everybody that's come in to join, I gotta say. It's been quite exciting, everything in the PC world, I gotta say, for the most part. It made me an apprentice when I water cooled a laptop. You know, it's funny because that just... Yeah, no problem at all. I appreciate GHDC for coming in. I appreciate Squeeze and everybody for coming in. Nicholas of Champ, always. That's why he's the champ. Sunner PCs. Will Baggins, I appreciate all you guys coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you liked the channel. And you join in on the stream Saturday because it's going to get exciting. Hopefully we get some things in. If we do, we'll certainly show them. But thank you everybody for once again coming to the stream. Make sure you join the Discord channel. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it and does help out the channel. We did introduce memberships in case if you want to join a membership. Again, it's not necessary for anyone to do it, but if you do, once again, greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions when it comes to PC builds, feel free to ask in the Discord. Of course, all the other guys will be in there as well if you need to ask questions. We have a lot of knowledgeable people in our wonderful fan band. So that's the wonderful thing about joining the PC master race, as we say, because it's just a beautiful thing. Anybody who has an Xbox, you better throw it out the window. You don't need it anymore, right? Especially if you do a PC build. Thanks, Zay. I appreciate it. Laptop was hitting 9 Celsius on CPU. Oh, man. You know, I really like that idea. Do the PC simulator challenge build. That would be fun, right? We'll definitely do that. We got to do that on Discord. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody. Much love to the fan band. And without you guys, this couldn't be all possible. Hopefully, I helped you out. And please give me your PC updates when you do your PC builds. I'd love to see how far you got. If you're still waiting on parts, or you're still waiting for any specific hardware, feel free to let me know. Because we got a lot of exciting things coming up on the channel. I do have a phone review that's going to be coming up. I came back. Can you please check out my PC parts list? Sure. Right before I go, I will certainly do that for you, Center PC. Since you joined the fan bam. Awesome. So, parts list. Montech's actually really good. I actually like them. And they're like a very affordable PC case. Let's go check it out. We're going to go into the quick stream browser. And we'll check them out. I could give you my Epic Games password, but I don't know if we can. Nah, it's alright. Just send me the game. Just let me know, Squeeze. I'll send you... I'll send the... just send the Discord. It's no question and answer. It's one question and answer. Okay. So, we got the 7800 X3D. We have the Thermalright Aqua Elite version 3, which is at 5490. A gigabyte B850. Oris Elite. Love it. Damn, it's only $200. That's a great deal, actually. Team Group's Expert 32 gigabytes. Good RAM right there. I think they use B dies too. Crucial P3 plus 1 terabyte. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to send me a message. Squeeze. And XFX Swift overclock or a great choice. XFS. Anybody who doesn't know, XFX used to work with NVIDIA. They were actually even before. Like, I know everybody knows EVGA, but they were actually before EVGA. And they used to work with NVIDIA. They were actually the first ones to leave NVIDIA before EVGA did. So they were the first ones to get royally effed, you can say. So Montech King 65 Pro ATX mid-tower case, good choice. MSI Mag A750GL. Yeah, that's a great power supply, actually. That's a decent one. And under $100. Thermalright TL, that's decent on the fans. Just be careful. Thermalright, I'm not a big fan of. You get it? But in the Acer VG27, okay, that's solid. They actually do make decent displays, though. In fact, the Acer, I got an ultra wide, the Predator, right behind me. Not bad at all. Only thing I would change out is probably the fans. That's it. Other than that, everything looks good. Oh, and maybe the cooler? Let me see. I'm curious what the reception is. It seems like people love it. Maybe I could be wrong. I have never tried Thermalright, though. Maybe I'm being a bit biased on it, to be honest. Wait, Chris Mizo is an app? No, it's not an app. Do you think I should upgrade my 7600 X3D, or is it good enough for your 5090? If you honestly, I would say it depends. If you're going to, especially with Unreal Engine 5, honestly, a 9800 X3D would be a nice push. That would be the maximum I would go. 7600 X3D. That's good enough for now. Honestly, I would just wait for the 10,000 series and then upgrade, because the 10,000 series I think will have more up their sleeve. Don't touch the 9800 X3D. You might be good enough till then, because it's gonna come out soon. I know not everybody's a big fan of ACR. They kind of went down the drain here. No problem. Oh, is it? All right, you know what? We got to do Thermalright then. We got to get some Thermalright products in and definitely test them out. We'll definitely do that. But much love to everybody out there. I thank everybody for joining in this stream. And again, anybody who has questions, feel free to ask. Make sure to don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I have the fans, but they're not good. Oh, really? I feel like if someone's spending $2,000 for a 5090, they should. Thank you. Thank you for the follow out there. Appreciate it. So I feel like spending, yes, I do agree. It is a bit crazy. But I know how you feel, Nicholas, but if he doesn't have to spend it right now, 7600 X3D is great for a lot of games. But I do expect AMD to launch something soon. I think they have something up their sleeve. I'm really excited to share with you guys once we go to CES. And I keep talking about it because I'm hyped up for it. Hopefully you guys are just as hyped as I am. But I spent $3,000 for. Oh, I know it was rough when the 5090s launched. It was rough. Thanks again, everybody. Much love, and I really hope you guys subscribed, liked, and see you guys on Saturday or on Discord.